to something like Wireshark, and Wireshark itself is a deep learning tool, and you said you we need at least 100 hours, and the basic URL was wireshark.org. And just as you currently explained, we went through the OSI layer, TCP IP, and TCP and UDP connections, and TCP IP three-way handshake, and the Wireshark product and stuff like that. And then you were like talking about cybersecurity, information security, network security, and CIA, and cryptography and encryption. Sorry if there are any repeats. And then we kind of spoke about common security threats and the network security measures. Um, how to use Wireshark tutorial, like for the beginners, and yeah. And then you asked us to watch couple of videos on cybersecurity full roadmap, Wireshark especially, and now what is CIA, and the TCP/IP three-way handshake and stuff like that. And one of the classes we were given the architecture report findings by Indresh sir, where he had listed the findings, and then he said that we could. There was an assignment where we had to um, come up with the risk and mitigations based on the findings given in the architecture review report, and we could do that using ChatGPT. Basically, you could log into ChatGPT using your Gmail, and the account gets established, and all that you have if I'm looking for risk, I will have to just say what is the risk for a configuration manager which contains database materials placed in, say, DMZ. Then the chat GPT will give you some answers. You just have to be diligent enough to run through and figure out the risk and paste it in the report. And similarly, you can say what is the mitigation, or how do I address the risk for this particular finding, whatever you have identified, the one that I just stated, something like, or it can be something like database credentials stored in plain text at configuration manager. So what is the risk for this, and how do you mitigate it? So that was a chat GPT assignment. And then one of the students in the class presented an assignment on CW, I forget the names of, like basically on compliance and the threats um, that was detected, and what is the CVE or CWE. I forget the terminology, but there was a very good representation, I think, by the candidates, Sonal, and we went through that particular assignment, and Indresh sir explained a lot of things on that. And in the later classes, we touched upon like in terms of GRC governance, risk and compliance, we touched on ISO certification, HHS.gov, GDPR.eu, and stuff like that. And one of the initial classes, we had codes assignment, and we spoke about what is improper authorization, or what are the vulnerabilities in compliance data center. I think this is the assignment that was done by Sono. And something like CVE ID, I think I get the term right now. It is CVE ID, and how to find the port if it is open over the internet and stuff like that. And so basically, we spoke about Nmap. Nmap is a network mapper, and a GUI version of Nmap is ZenMap. And if you can plug in the URL in ZenMap, and you can run a scan, like a ping scan or a quick scan. There are different types of scans that you can just select on the right-hand side drop-down window in the GUI ZenMap, and then it will give you the findings. So there you can see which host was reached and what is the port and which port is open and what is the URL associated with it, something like Google or if you're NetBIOS, or which port is actually open and which ports are closed. So that kind of report you get from Nmap. Nmap is network mapper, the command line, and ZenMap is a GUI version of it. So technically both do the same thing. In Nmap, you have to remember the commands to execute in CLI command line interface. In ZenMap, you can just put in the URL and the tool will automatically do the job of scanning when you just click on the button scan. Then we spoke about the DigiCert, hacker target sites, and stuff like that. So DigiCert basically delivers certificate management and security solutions, probably to the entire majority of the global 2000. And on one of the initial classes, there was something that he spoke about observation, source, and destination, wherein you basically get to know which ports are open, what is the finding, what is the interface, and um, what is the CLI. There was also an assignment on that. I think that one of the other students did. And there were references to NetAcad. I basically don't remember what that is. Basically, maybe it is a packet tracer or something. I need to read about NetAcad. And then we also spoke about installing and configuring Snort. Um, and like TCP/IP, which I already said, a three-way handshake, and we spoke about. I mean, towards the fag end of the course, we spoke about risk management regulations. The one that I the reference to on GRC, that is GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. G for governance, R for risk, and C for compliance, a major topic. We also spoke about, I think, email security, Wi-Fi security, physical security, IAM, identity access management, and stuff like that. So, along with email and Wi-Fi security, we also spoke about, I think, incident response or incident management, and Indresh sir also touched on dark web. Um, um, Like in one of the initial classes where there was an assignment, he spoke about source, destination, services, port. What are the well-known ports, registered ports, dynamic or private ports? What is IANA, registered ports and stuff like that. I don't have much knowledge on this. I need to read through this, but there was an assignment on that. And Indresh sir also spoke about Wireshark display filter expressions, and there were a lot of them that were given. I need to practice more on that, but a lot of filter expressions, something like IP address, port number, protocol, and stuff like that. And then coming to network or network commands, we spoke about ping, IP config, traceRD, netstat, NSLOOKUP, um, you know, how to query DNS, that is NSLOOKUP and stuff like that. We also, in one of the sessions, he gave an assignment and I encountered a problem. I don't remember what that is. Then I contacted Indresh sir, so he gave me a link where I could troubleshoot the network. And because I wanted to ask him, sir, how to flush the network, something like that. So he gave me commands like ipconfig flush DNS and ipconfig release, ipconfig. There's another thing like release and renew. And he also gave some commands for NetBIOS and TCP/IP, something like NB NBstat -a IP address or NBTstat NetBIOS. NetBIOS display over TCP/IP, including NetBIOS name resolution. So, and then something like a route print for displaying the local IP routing table. So all this was posted on the WhatsApp chat by English sir. And so some of the comments that were really useful to me was flushing the network, renewing the network, releasing, like flushing the network, something like ipconfig slash flush DNS, and then ipconfig slash release to release, ipconfig slash renew to renew. Because when we spoke about Wi-Fi security, sir gave some command, Indresh sir gave some commands like netsh wlan show profile that will basically show you the profile on the Wi-Fi security. And for example, if you want to get the details of the Wi-Fi, even with the key content that refers to password, you have to issue netsh wlan show profile name, which is the Wi-Fi name, active Wi-Fi name, and then say key is equal to clear. Then the key content will give you the password detail. And it can also show you, say, for example, if I've taken the laptop to 10 restaurants, 20 coffee shops, your Wi-Fi also stores all the Wi-Fi names. So technically, WLAN, netsh WLAN show profile will show you all the profiles. And when you issue that command with key is equal to clear, it will give you even the details. So that's where I was facing some problems, and that's when I had to renew the network and did ipconfig flush DNS and then ipconfig release and ipconfig renew, and then I restarted the laptop and then reissued. Then there was a difference. Then Sir spoke about endpoint commands. Endpoint commands, the one we touched on, something like ping, traceRT, and all that stuff. And then Wi-Fi config command to inspect and verify the Wi-Fi profile, the one that I just said on netsh wlan show profile. That's the Wi-Fi command. Then we installed burp suite, and Sir spoke about XSS injection test and SQL injection test using burp suite. We also spoke about what is XSS, that is cross-site scripting, and Sir asked us to inspect the code using websites like social media websites like Facebook and a regular website. Maybe you could go to a banking website or stuff like that. So banking websites are supposed to be more secure, and whereas social media websites are not. So when you type www.facebook.com, go to the page, right click and inspect. On the right hand side panel, the code will be displayed, and then you can go look up for the password PASSOWRD keyword. Then when you delete it, on the left hand side, the password, whatever password you actually type, kind of literally shows up. So that kind of social media websites are insecure because the example that I gave was Facebook. Whereas banking websites are supposed to be very secure. So when you try doing the same thing in banking website, the right click will not be allowed or should not be technically allowed. So that way you know that the banking website is secure. Then Indresh sir asked us to do some port scanning, like I installed, based on what he said, I installed advanced IP scanner and Nmap that I just said, like the ZenMap GUI version of Nmap, and you can do put in the IP address and do a scan. Then we spoke about assessing the application in use for potentially outdated versions, and Sir asked us to generate a comprehensive report and how to inspect application headers and what are the display methods available, something like get, post. So Sir said, like, we spoke about get, post, delete, update, and those methods. Then you have this OWASP ZAP, which is a vulnerability assessment or penetration testing tool. It is basically a vulnerability assessment. It's a tool to assess VAP, vulnerability assessment. So we installed that, and Sir told us how to use it. And am I going too fast in kind of mumbly jumbly way based on what I?
Yeah. No, you're doing pretty much quite good. Anyone
Okay.
else have any
Um,
questions they can ask? I
I have a
believe
couple of more based on what he said, but I thought I was just going without asking for any inputs from you.
No, this is really helpful. Thank you so much for sharing this. Please continue.
Okay. So next, endpoint security commands. Basically, endpoint security commands are something like ping, trace, RT, netstat. Like for example, if you have to display listening ports, you do nstat-a. Display active connections, you do netstat-n. Um, Display routing table, something like netstat-r. Then you want to do a NS lookup. Sir, NS and DNS are same.
No, they both are two different commands.
Oh, okay. So NS lookup is details about NS lookup. So I had a confusion between DNS and NS because there's similarities. So sorry. Then what is endpoint security? Endpoint security is one of the key components of cybersecurity. There was some reference to AV versus EDR versus XDR. I basically don't have much knowledge about it. I wanted to run through that later, just stating that for reference. So basically, we need to understand how endpoint security relates to AV, EDR, and XDR. That's an assignment for me. So next we spoke about um using one of the commands. I think using ZenMap or what you call as ZenMap network mapper. When you put in the URL, I basically use the local host, which is you do just ipconfig, get your IP address and put that IP address in the ZenMap or the Nmap too. Then it gives you on the right hand side, it gives you the details about the scan that you just invoked. So on that scan, you will get the port number, the site that it's technically what service it's kind of mapped to. Say something like NetBIOS or RPC. And then my report said, say maybe 800 ports are closed. And then maybe some 5 or 6 ports are open. And one of them was an RPC port, which is a remote procedure call port. So I wanted to see how to close that port. So I went to Google and searched. I'm technically trying to tell you that I did not know that the RPC port was open. Basically, I think most systems it will be open because that is helpful for the DCOM or the RPC calls. I was trying to see how I could close the port. So the reference that I'm trying to draw here is to see like Nmap, we think it basically is a very small tool, or is Nmap the GUI version of it, but it gives you a lot of information. There are a lot of tabs where you can see the topography information and stuff like that. So if you need to start with, we can always start with Advanced IP Scanner or just the ZMap tool, which is very simple to use. Just put the IP address and click on scan and just watch what is happening. And then the rest of it you can Google or use the DuckDuckGo browser, which is more secure because it does not track the websites. Yeah, in the later sessions, we also spoke about DuckDuckGo browser for security, Tor browser, and we know what is VPN, virtual private network, and what does VPN do basically. Say, for example, when you go to your laptop CMD issue IP config, you get the IP address of your laptop. So this IP address you don't want to be displayed over the internet. So for that, you use VPN, virtual private network, which basically hides your IP. So when you install a VPN, how do you know that the VPN is working? You can go to a site called as NordVPN. You type www.nordvpn.com and just press enter. Then it will tell you your IP address and your service provider, and it will display which IP address is technically shown on the internet. So if that IP address is different from what you see on the command prompt ipconfig your own IP, then you know that your system is protected because it is displaying a different IP address on the internet. Also, you can match that IP address with your VPN provider. So that basically small window that pops up when you install a free VPN or a paid VPN, you will know what the say for example, when you install a VPN, it will give you the server information, something like IP upgrade and latency, whether you're connected or not, and which is your virtual location and stuff like that. And what is the peak speed? So with that, you know that if the VPN that is shown in the VPN window is different from your original VPN, then you know you're protected because different VPN is displayed over the internet. And yeah, so like I said, we spoke about the Tor browser, DuckDuckGo. Tor browser, easy to install. Just type Tor browser and you can install for the Windows or any system that you want. And the second one is DuckDuckGo browser. Technically, when I installed, I saw like it literally tells you like which sites you visited and how many trackers were blocked. So I was so surprised because when you use Google Firefox and stuff like that, like so for any website that we use, like hundreds of tracking details are sent. We don't know to whom, to invokers and stuff like that. So they're literally tracking. VPN is just a small kind of protection. They're literally tracking everything that you're doing. So when you install DuckDuckGo browser, you are able to see how many uh, trackers have been disabled. So that is an eye opener. I mean, it's technically so useful, and you will know only when you use it. And that way, netstat command is also very helpful because if you issue in your basic command prompt netstat -a space 1 refresh every second, it tells you what are the connections through which port, something like if it is a TCP connection, UDP connection. For example, if it's a UDP connection, it will give you something like UDP 0.0.0. Something something, then star dot star. Then you know whether it's established listening, active connection, stuff like that. Then to touch upon advanced IP scanner, it's called advanced IP scanner portable for, say, for example, for Windows. This can be a first choice for every network admin. It's very reliable and a free network scanner to analyze the LAN, local access network. So this program shows all network devices and it gives you access to shared folders, provides remote control of computers like via RDP and RAdmin, remote admin, and it can even remotely switch computers off. So just one of the advantages of advanced IP scanner apart from what it can technically do. I think then I already spoke about Nmap and ZenMap, unless you want to know more. I mean, I started with ZenMap, and technically that was a very useful tool for me because it was very simple to use. So Nmap is the command line version. ZenMap is the GUI version of it. It is used to analyze secure and explore networks. You can also discover hosts and services on a computer network, like I told you. It's a very simple tool, and in order to discover hosts and computer, you can go to the topography or the visual representation of the graph that's displayed on the tool. And you have to just click on it, and you will know how your system is connected. And also Nmap is an efficient port scanner that Indresh sir just told, like when I asked him for the port scanner. Um, then IP lookup. Indresh sir touched on, what is my IP address.com. That's a very helpful tool. Like something in Google, you do where am I? For example, you need a to IP lookup, you can go to what is my IP address.com/IP lookup. Basically, when I was Googling on VPN, and Indresh sir gave this because if you want to know your technical IP address, like why I said this was like when you use VPN, you want to know is my computer really secure. So one way I already told you about NordVPN. The second way you can use this website, what is my IP address.com, then you can compare your IPs. Because you just want to figure out how VPN is adding that extra layer of security to your online activities and how is your IP getting masked. And then there are different variations of Nmap that you will know like once you start using the tool, because you don't have to remember the commands when you use ZenMap, because ZenMap technically gives you the very layman option of choosing which scan you want, like a port scan or a quick scan or a ping scan, and with different variations. Then on the left-hand side of the window, that commands will automatically be displayed. Then you know which command you're using. the tool itself displays something like, now, say for example, you have to do an open port scan with version detection, then the command is nmap space sv IP address space -a. So you don't have to remember this command, the tool gives you. So the more and more we explore the tool, like in the research set, we get to know more. And and also Sir spoke about URL scanners. How do you check for domain reputation? How do you know that the website is safe or stuff like that? So there are basically 11 best URL scanners that you can get from Google. All that you have to do is just type 11 best URL scanners to see if link is safe. And you get different websites where you can just technically go put your URL, something like even google.com, then you will get a rating or what is the kind of reputation that website has. Then Sir just spoke about network security OSI model, where we touched upon different layers like application presentation, session transport, network, data link, and physical layers. And what happens at every layer, what are the upper layers, and which is the heart of OSI. The heart of OSI is a transport layer, and the lower layers are network, data link, and physical layers. So there's a lot more that you covered. Do you really want me to run through? I'm just kind of like,
That is up to the audience
just,
if they want to listen.
yeah, just the menu part of it. I think you can run for 1 more hour. So I don't know if I just want to be a chatterbox here. So
No, you have pretty much explained it very well. I was saying there is up to the audience because I can see. I believe Sheetal is new to this batch.
Yeah. No, but this was so helpful, at least got a gist of it, that, what was taught, how it is, what am I supposed to be looking up. So this was really helpful. Thank you.
thank you. And the best thing is our trainers, they give us cybersecurity training links based on the recordings that our trainers taught us. And
Mm-hmm.
we have the assignments from the trainers. And we
Okay.
have the interview question and answers from the trainers. And there is live illustration of tools like OWASP ZAP, that is for application penetration testing. And Indresh sir also told us about application security headers and a lot more things. I mean, they are a ocean of knowledge. Like when you run through the class, we think that it's kind of, what we can figure out, but trust me, like once you start exploring, like this is an ocean and you really need that effort. So that is my understanding.
Great to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you so much, BG, and thank you so much, sir. I mean, I joined the class a bit late and I have not attended the entire lectures, but whichever lectures I've attended, I could connect by, just by the brief summary which BG gave. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so sirs touched on tools like OWASP Zap, that's automated scan hacking tool, basically VAPT or an attack simulator. Um, I can talk more because the sir gave us so much, he spoke about browser extensions. Um, how do you check for outdated application security headers and um stuff like that. And mm, I mean, there's huge. This is huge, and every session they cover so much. It is so intense, and we think we can learn. But once you take notes and go inside, and like every topic is a huge topic. Say for example, initially they started with say performing a port scan with Nessus Professional and how do they do it in the enterprise environments. And um sorry. And there are a lot of video recordings starting from day one. Whatever our sir has covered, say, for example, firewall audit and process, how do they do it? What is information security, cybersecurity? That's how we started, and all the layers that we just spoke about. I mean, firewall audit and process was a separate class, and that is very important. We spoke about network security and Wireshark, and then Sir spoke about the ability to draft cybersecurity policies and how they fulfill an industry standard or industry focused assignments. Then we came down to OASP, and he told us, OASP is technically very useful in terms of, like, when you type top 10 web application security risks, you will come to know about I mean, basically, when you type something like top 10 web application security risk, you will get to know what the risk based on the years, and there'll be 3 or 4 categories with naming and scoping changes, and the consolidated listing. You will get to know something like injection, broken authentication, sensitive data capture, XML, broken access control. So this was the top security checklist. Cross-site scripting, insecure deserialization, using components with known vulnerabilities, insufficient logging and monitoring and stuff like that. I mean, you can spend a day just to learn about OWASP, OWASP, and we spoke about Shodan.io. I think everybody will know about Shodan. Does anybody want to touch upon Shodan? What Shodan.io is used for? Anybody wants to talk about Shodan? Okay, I'll just show it to you. shodan.io. I'm typing. So can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, let me make you host.
Share screen. Okay. Is my browser are you able to see
Yeah.
the browser? Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see.
So this is the DuckDuckGo browser that I installed. Are you able to see that this is the DuckDuckGo browser? Or am I not using? Let me see. Let me invoke one more time. I can. Sorry guys, it's taking time. I don't know why. Okay. So this is a DuckDuckGo browser that I'm using, and okay, I'm clicking on shodan.io. So what is I will try to put the URL to see what I'm getting from this shodan.io. Basically on the left hand side, so can you please help me with this explanation on shodan.io? You told me something that I forgot.
See, Shodan is a cybersecurity search engine. So what it does, it scans complete word, whatever the IP exposed over the internet. So it's continuously, scans it and, getting and gather the information. And if you put any IP address, so it will show you the name, where the country where it is hosted, company name, what kind of ports are open, what kind of, vulnerability exists pertaining to that IP address or that URL. So what she has done, she has just opened the Shodan, and in that she has put the google.com, and whatever the IP address has assigned to google.com, it was showing, that complete information. So it is a search engines, like we have a Google for normal search engine. So this is a cybersecurity search engine. Whatever we are seeing, it is a free version. If you want to get the paid version, you have to pay the price.
So this is the cybersecurity engine, correct, sir?
Yeah, it is search engine.
It is a
Cybersecurity search engine.
cybersecurity search engine. Okay. So it is giving you SSL certificate details and so what do we basically use this for, sir?
Shodan or SSL certificates. See,
Okay.
Shodan, which we are using, we can easily see what kind of ports are open, what kind of vulnerabilities are associated with that IP address or with that URL, and with if once you find out what are the vulnerability associated with those URL and IP address, you can try to exploit those things. So it is the first stage which we call information gathering. So there is a 6 step, 5 to 6 step. So one of the first step is information gathering, and what we are getting, all by collecting all the information, it's called information gathering. So this tools is used for information gathering.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sorry I kind of forgot that.
No, it's fine. Whatever explanation you have done, same kind of efforts. Once you join the cybersecurity, everyone has to put the kind of effort which Bhavani has put. So then only you will learn and understand the things.
Yeah, I'm still a beginner, sir, because I'm just trying to remember whatever you said in the class.
Mm. Every professional are first a beginner only.
Oh, thank you,
Me,
sir.
yeah, me, AJ also were the beginners.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, like sir said, we spoke about OWASP ZAP, and I told you that is a VAPT simulation or an attacker tool. And sir just explained about Shodan, the cybersecurity engine. Say, for example, you can plug in your URL and get all the details. You saw that SSL something, right? SSL security, right? So to know more about that, you can go to a website called as sslabs.com. And we also spoke about DigiCert, digital certificate, and how that is important. So you can go to a site called as www.digicert.com. Sir also touched upon DevOps, and for even the DevOps introduction, I think he gave about for 2 hours, and there are videos for that. So that because we were going through github.com, and then we touched on DevOps, and we also spoke about another tool called as mxtoolbox.com. I mean, every topic is a lengthy topic and a detailed topic by itself. So I'm just trying to cover upon what Sir gave us. And how do you check for outdated software and plugins? There is something called as W App Analyzer. It is WAPPALYZER. So is that the web app analyzer, sir, that you said, like, if you have to check for outdated software and plugins, you just go to Google, type W App Analyzer download, and it will give you the technical profile, say for Windows to download. And then in the browser, you can just like a drop down, you have the option like next to the bookmark, there's an icon. When you click on it, you know that what is the version of the software that is installed. So, and then important, we spoke about SIEM. Sir, I forgot the expansion for SIEM, sir.
That is security, incident, and event management.
Okay, security, incident, and event management. Thank you, sir. So, we spoke about network security, port security, SIEM, application security, and Sir touched upon SDLC, endpoint security, UAM, email security, and dark web. So what is UAM? Access management?
It's a user access management.
Okay, UAM, thank you, sir. UAM is for user access management. We spoke about endpoint security, Wi-Fi security, social engineering, and VAPT management, and the governance standards compliance documents, which is we spoke about. AJ sir spoke about GRC, governance risk compliance, GRC, and uh, we had another tutor. We also spoke about cloud security, cloud governance and security, risk management and regulations, and we also spoke about some cybersecurity and threat hunting. And like I stated earlier, Indiresh sir covered about firewall audit and processes, and there was some assignment on it. And probably in the next session, I will understand more on what that is, because I need some, I need to read up. And then we spoke about encryption, hashing, architecture review, and that's when he gave us the architecture review report. Touched on online portals and news websites, and what actually is vulnerability management, and what is ethical hacking. And Sir spoke about cybersecurity, NIPS, and assignment. Sir, I forgot about NIPS, sir. Network Intrusion Prevention System. IPS is Intrusion Prevention System. IDS is Intrusion Detection System. So is that correct, sir? NIPS stands for Network Intrusion Prevention System, sir.
Yeah, NIPS is Network Intrusion Prevention System. It basically, whatever alerts that you configure over your network or monitoring system, uh, it will not only detect but also prevent it. So detection means it will it will detect, give you an alert, and then it depends upon you what action you want to take against it. But IPS is will not only detect it, it also prevent it and gives you the actionables as well, that what further action needs to be taken over it. Whereas NIDS, that is Network Intrusion Detection, that will only detect and give you an alert.
Thank you, sir. So as part of GRC, like sir said, governance risk compliance, we spoke about, internet, firewall, IPS, IDS, intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection systems, monitoring capabilities, people, processes, and technologies. What is SOC, and what are the frameworks, which means the security framework, something like I forget. Like there are a lot of frameworks. Something like HIPAA for healthcare, and payment gateways for finance industry, SOC, ISO 2027 27001. Anuj sir was the one who gave us all those illustrations and the training.
ISO
And
27001 stands for the best practices when it comes to the setting up of IT systems or information systems. HIPAA stands for your IT practices as in regulatory that needs to be followed for the healthcare industry in terms of hospital, medical help or insurance companies and whatnot. Then your PCI DSS PCI DSS stand for your payment card industry. Wherever you are doing card-based in transactions. So, what should be the best practices when it comes to the banks or the financial institute that needs to be followed? So, for that guideline is given into PCI DSS standard, and then there is your GDPR. So, any organization dealing with personal information of an individual who belongs to European Union, the GDPR is applicable to that organization no matter he is operating from which part of the world. Yep.
Yes, sir.
BGOD.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, just with reference to OS ZAP, sometimes they just call it as Z attack proxy. So ZAP stands for Z attack proxy. So that is basically the tool for testing web applications for security vulnerabilities, or what they call as VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So OWASP ZAP is widely used, or sometimes they just call it as ZAP, Z attack proxy. And with reference to browser extensions, the best browser that you can use is DuckDuckGo browser. So it's simply duckduckgo.com, you type, download, you get the browser, and you will see how efficient it is once you start using it. And so the best extensions that you can get are security header extensions. You just have to type security header extension in Google, download, then you have the attachments for Chrome, Firefox, or your kind of browser, whatever that is. And similarly, you should download WApp Analyzer Technology Profile, the one that I said earlier, that's Web App Analyzer. The actual term is WAPPALYZER. So you just have to type that in Google, download, then you will get to know how to check for your browser versions. Sorry that I'm touching upon OWASP ZAP multiple times, because this is one tool that is really helpful and kind of needed, because it's a hacking tool that can be used to simulate attack on a website. And one of the websites that you can use is, Sir said that you can use hackthisSite.org. Hack, H-A-C-K, thisSite.org. So when you go to ZAP, you need a website to hack, then you can use this site. It is called as hackthisSite.org, and you can generate a report on the vulnerabilities, and you can easily review the report. This report that you generate is in the HTML form, and it's very easy to review the reports because it's all like simple English terms. And the tool does all the work for you. It analyzes the vulnerabilities for you, and it presents it. And once you read the tool, like, there's an ocean of work that you can do because the tool displays so much of information. And generating the report is simple. Sir explained, like in the OWASP app, there is just a file reporting option, and you just have to click generate, put in the name, save, and then the file gets saved. Then it's an HTML report. You just open it and you read through it. I mean, OWASP ZAP, the reason that I'm taking more time is, like I said, it is used for VAPT testing, or the application security testing. They call it as web application penetrating testing, and there's a checklist for it. Some of the steps for conducting effective security testing can be defined as something like, defining API endpoints, identifying sensitive endpoints and vulnerabilities, mapping API endpoints, evaluating authentication effectiveness, examining the authorization controls, and testing for improper access controls, analyzing input validation techniques, and ensuring data integrity. And we spoke about another tool called as Burp Suite, also called as Port Swigger, P-O-R-T, Port Swigger, S-W-I-G-G-E-R. So the Burp Suite Port Swigger installation. So you can install the community edition, that is free. So basically, we learned about intercepting HTTP traffic with Burp Suite, modifying requests in Burp Suite, how to set the target scope, manually reissuing request with Burp Repeater, running your first scan, generating a report, and stuff like that. I need to explore Burp Suite. So like Wireshark, this is also a tool. You can spend 100 hours on a Wireshark, 100 hours on Burp Suite. And like I said earlier, Sir touched on XSS, which is called as cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting. So, with the cross-site scripting, you can check to see if a website is well defined in terms of security or not, because like I said, you should not be able to tap into the password on the banking website and domains. So that you can check using cross-site scripting that I explained earlier. How you do it, you go to a website like facebook.com, then on the page in the center, you just right-click, go to inspect, and then when you click on inspect, basically the source code opens up on the right-hand side page. And in that, there is a password keyword. When you delete that, actually the real password that you typed on the left-hand side shows up. So that should not happen. If that happens, then your security is like not well defined at the application level. And also, like when you start using ForceFigure, when you start learning, there are a lot of features and capabilities provided by this ForceFigure tool or the Burp suit. So when you Google around, there is a mystery lab challenge. So basically, whatever you want to test, you can go to the mystery lab challenge and you can start learning. And some things like Sir gave us, it's all in WhatsApp for class recordings given by Sir. For something like access control vulnerabilities, what is cross scripting? What is path reversal? What is information disclosure? What is authentication? What is HTTP request struggling? What is SQL injection? What is web cache? What is authentication? So a lot of things like that. And Sir spoke about, I told you, ForceFigure is also called as Burp Suite installation. Sir also spoke about Sonar Cube installation. And we also spoke about DAST and DAST means Dynamic Application Security Testing. And there's also Static Application Security Testing. So DAST and static Dynamic Application Security Testing is called as DAST, and there's another testing called as Static Application Security Testing. And what is ChatGPT? How to use ChatGPT, like everybody knows, you just go and create a profile, or you can use Google to access ChatGPT, and nowadays it's widely used for almost anything. And especially when you need these technical solutions, you just have to type in your question and you will get the answers. But it's also good to rely on your own judgment to, to analyze whether the output is really up to the standard or not, because it's a automated search engine. I will stop here. So,
Thanks,
is there
Vijay.
anything else?
Thanks, Vijay, for taking today's lecture.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. I should thank you. I should thank Indresh, sir, and I should thank the cybersecurity tutor.
So I believe Mr.
Sorry, the cloud security tutor.
Yeah. So there would be a cloud security session. That would be well, a full-fledged cloud security session. That would be starting from next week, I believe. We only touched a basic understanding and the concepts of cloud security, because since everything is now shifting towards the traditional architecture towards the cloud-based solution, cloud-based platform. That is the upcoming trend when it comes to the uh, information systems. So even that is one of the key um, control to be learned for in terms of security. Because see, uh, the only thing that would remain common on the technology is security. Okay, I started my career in 2011, and that point of time there were three major development over the network. That was networks, Wi-Fi, and virtualization. So basically, all your physical servers were migrated to virtual servers. Yeah, and one more, the security part. The security part was also at that point of time quite in boom. But the rest two got vanished, or not. I won't say vanished, but yeah, the importance has lowered down, whereas security is still common. So what I understand from this last 10 years of my experiences, 10 years of experiences, no matter you migrate to whichever technology, whichever solution, your security practices would remain constant. Your security practices would remain constant. Yeah.
Thank
So
you, sir.
again, and within security, there are two to three bifurcations into it. One is their operation level security. So whatever BG has explained in terms of OWASP, port scanning, network scanning, VAPT, and other areas. So those are coming into operational level security, wherein you are part of a soft team, so basically security operations center team. and you are running 24/7. I mean, the team is running 24/7. They are constantly up on the alerts, whichever receive the attack that they came across, the events that they need to evaluate, and then basis the investigation, they have to conclude that was it a false positive or a false negative based of event and alerts. So that is the operational aspect of the security. Then comes your governance or the compliance aspect. So governance and compliance, as in uh, whichever industry you are into, that industry is being regulated by some of the governance rules and regulations, either by the body or by the government agency. So the basic understanding from the governance and compliance aspect of the security member is that whatever rules and regulations that have been released by these agencies, as an organization, you ensure that they should follow it, and that regulations are in line with the organization's internal policy and process as well. So it shouldn't be that so let's say agency like they say that you need to follow XYZ thing. As an organization, I will follow only ABCD thing. So there should be a correlation into the organization, because whenever an organization decides a policy or procedure, that is in line with the regulations. Then comes the third aspect of the cyber security is your audit and governance. Audit is the independent body or independent team within cyber security that is directly reporting to the board of directors of the organization. So your IT team, or your technology team, or your operations team will report to the CTO or CIO, that is Chief Technical Officer or the Chief Information Officer. Information security team or the cyber security team, they will report to CISO, that is Chief Information Security Officer, or CRO, Chief Risk Officer. Whereas audit team or audit members directly report to the board of directors, because they give, so audit members are the third eye of the board of directors, that they overlook on the entire process of an organization, be it in terms of the systems, be it in terms of finance, be it in terms of the regulations. Audit team gives runs a check over a particular process, and basis their assessment, they give they give an assurance to the management that okay, we have assessed this particular process in the organization, and we assure basis this sample based testing that this is running fine. Okay, so audit team is having more importance in the organization. It is not the cybersecurity team, infosec team, or the IT team. It is the audit governance team who holds importance in the organization. They whatever they should, and every member, be it your CISO, be it your CRO, or be it your CIO, they take audit comments very seriously, because they are they are directly working under the supervision of board members. So these are the three aspects of cybersecurity when it comes to the career path. So when you decide to go, and yes, and all the three members should have an at least basic understanding. So let's say if you are into the operations side, you should have a basic understanding of the governance, compliance, and the audit. If you are into the compliance side, you should have a basic understanding of the operations and the governance compliance. If you are into the audit side, then you should have more than the basic understanding of operations and the governance. Because your words, your report, your assessment will either give a positive or a negative impact on the team which is working, on the person who is managing that team. Even at times, their KRA is also affected basis the audit comments. So that is the impact of the audit. We can cover that in more detail when there would be a new batch starting for the audit governance. That we can cover more everything more. Now coming to
Thank you,
the
sir.
now coming to the so what okay so basically what happens is, whatever we are saying that okay, this is you need to close the ports, you need to do a VAPT scan periodically, you need to close open vulnerable ports. Your user access management should have 10 steps, 10 checklists. your physical security should work in this particular fashion. So everything. Just give me a minute. Your everything will depend upon the policy and process that as an organization you give an understanding over it, and that policy and processes are in line with the regulations. Okay. Yeah. So, was it clear over this?
Yes, sir.
Neil,
So you said the three as yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You said three aspects. So were you referring to governance, GRC, governance, risk and compliance, or were you referring to something else, sir?
No, it is GRC only, governance system.
Okay.
Again, within GRC, you see there are three different aspects within the compliance part. That is governance, risk, and compliance. Governance would be your governing mechanism. Risk is associated with the industry that you are into it and the relevant related regulated bodies. And compliance is the best practices. Because see, risk or compliance governance might say that you need to follow all these 100 steps. But as an organization, if you follow these 100 steps, you won't be able to run your business. So certain aspects you take a midway that okay, I won't be following whatever you are saying in an exact manner, but I'll see what workaround I have to achieve the same expectation, and how strong that workaround option is there on the ground. So that assurance I gives to the management, and basis that they gives an exception approval.
Okay, sir.
Neil, you are too quiet. So, do you have anything to say over this batch? Your learnings, your understanding, your doubts, your concerns?
I don't really have any doubts or concerns. I understand pretty much everything.
Thanks for the feedback. I guess then that's it. Anyone else have to say anything? Any? Okay, BG, any recommendation, any feedback from you that we can try to overcome in the next lecture or the next batch?
Thank you, sir. I mean, your menu is kind of very extensive. So, like I said, the topics are very intense and the time is limited. So, I think we need to practice more, and so maybe some highlights on every session for every student to have some reading will be helpful is what I'm thinking. But everybody is different. Some people are very experienced and some people are beginners. So the experience is kind of individual and how you take it. So, but I find that you guys have introduced us to a big ocean of knowledge, and yeah, we need to grab onto your support.
Yeah, we are always there to help you out. And cybersecurity, yes, is it all upon depends. It all depends upon the practice. Because you learn one technology today, tomorrow you'll be facing some new technology which you are unaware of it. So you have to at least have the clear understanding of the basics of cybersecurity, because every attack that happen, every intrusion that happen, they are impacted to they are affected by the basics of cybersecurity only. Let's like for an example, uh, your vulnerable ports, your periodic scan, your updated security features, your security patches, how regularly you monitor you monitor your behavior when it comes to the cybersecurity, how regularly you monitor the security aspects of your team, your function, your organization. So if you are on top of these things, still the impact would happen, but at least then that that would be very minimal, or you will have some time to act upon it so that you can your impact you can minimize it. And as I mentioned in the first lecture itself, that nothing is secured in this world. Whatever solutions, whatever process that we follow, whatever approach that we take, when it comes to cybersecurity or for that matter security. It is just that you are buying some time to get impacted with that attack. If
Yes, sir.
you living in an open area in a field, you are more vulnerable. Then you have certain perimeters or certain secured walls on that field. So if you are living in an open area, in the first attempt itself, you will be broke or you will be attacked. However, if you have multiple secured walls or perimeters, then the attacker will take that much time to break that particular perimeter or the wall. So till that time, anyways, you were alerted at the break of the first perimeter wall itself. So you know that okay, from the first perimeter wall to for the attacker will take this much time from the first perimeter wall to reach to my bedroom's door. Okay, so let's say there are 3 or 4 doors that he or she has to break it. So you have that much of time, and in that time you have to act upon it. So again, during the live attack session, what cybersecurity guys they do is they are setting an alert at the perimeter itself, and they know that basis that the approach that the attacker has taken to break the first wall, they analyze that okay how strong or how skillful that attacker is. So either they secure themselves with the remaining layers of the security, or they change their stance. So the moment they change their stance, so by the time the attacker reaches them, for him it is an empty hand. So that is the overall approach of cybersecurity. I hope I was
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Uh, Sheetal ma'am, Sudhir sir, do you have anything to add in the next batch so that we'll look over that as well? Because I know this was just a summary session or a revision session for you.
No, but this was really good. At least got a good understanding what we're supposed to look for and how intensive it's going to be. What exactly will we be learning, and how much in detail we should be looking for. So this was very good session. Thank you.
Thank you. Sudhir sir, do you have?
Thank you for all the knowledge that you and Indresh sir and the cloud security sir delivered. And we are truly thankful for your time and truly appreciate the service here.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you so much, sir. So I think not exactly a feedback. I think it would be more appropriate if when we join the join hands and just work over it, because I started with a couple of videos, just a cross try, cross set scripting and stuff like that. So all those commands which I went through like in the other class, like I didn't join the class, I went through the recording, not entirely. So it reminded me of a few of those sessions previously which I have had in my course too. So I believe it is required for when us to practice, to at least understand and comprehend what exactly is happening. So I believe it would be more effective, and I can speak more about it only when I practice myself too, right? So I think it would be, time is a constraint. I've seen that in the classes of time, but I think we would have to invest our time a bit in more of, each arenas. Like, there is a wide, as I say it, I mean, even though it might be 1 or 1.5 hour class, there is a lot to work on it. Thank you so much. Once again, sir.
Yep, thank you, thank you for that. And these batches of cybersecurity are running around the year. So even if you miss a particular session in your batch, we share the recorded session, and the batches are continuously running from start. So now from 7th, I believe we are starting the next batch. So if like BG wants to again attend that batch, have an understanding, have an
Yes,
understanding.
sir, I do want to.
Even she can rejoin that batch and get a revision sort of thing over this.
So I just had a question, like, will those classes will be like weekends, or is it going to be every day?
So that the batches would be Friday and Saturday evening. EST time zone.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And okay.
Sir, may I request you to share your LinkedIn profile so I can connect with you and Indresh sir, and the cloud security, sir?
Yeah, sure. We'll share that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Indresh sir, can you also please share, because it'll be great to be connected. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, also I just had a question. Like in a couple of the recordings, sometimes I guess sensitive information is sometimes not recorded, right? So I guess would be best to join again the revision, right? I definitely would want to.
Yeah, you can join the revision batch any time of the year. So the batches are continuously running for the year. So it is not that you have to seek permission or you are looking, so you have to ask someone else. But the training links are shared in the group itself, WhatsApp group, for before the start of the batch, or the even for the start of the session as well. You can click over it and you can join it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
See, once you join the cybersecurity batch in a group pool, you can join as many as time as you want.
Thank you, sir.
And when it's at the LinkedIn profile, just type my name and the surname. You will find on the first top.
Okay, sir. Sir, your last name, sir?
Chaurasia. It's Indresh Chaurasi. I will ping you my complete name.
Okay, sir.
In that case, we will wrap up this session. And thanks everyone for joining. Wish you happy New Year, all of you. The great year ahead.
Happy New Year,
Thank you.
sir. Happy New Year
Thank
to
you so much,
everyone.
sir. Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.